Hey everybody, it's Tuesday here at the Northwest Houston office of WFSB and WFG. And so I'm able to get into the office early. So I was in early this morning, 8 o'clock, or about 8:30, I guess, this morning. And there was, I had a 9 o'clock appointment. And so I went to go meet with my whoever person I was having an appointment with. And there was some lady at the front desk. And the security guy's like, talk to him. And she's been working at the post office for 50 years. And she has a TSP, and they're telling her that she's got this $5,000 fee to pay. And she needs to talk to somebody. And so I'm like, okay, I got her information, right? And then she was going to come and see me at 1:30. Well, then she sent me a text that she can't make the appointment. And I couldn't nail her down for another appointment. But I had sent her an email with a graphic explaining, what we do, and a PDF of the Saving Your Future book. And I got to thinking about her TSP. The only reason I could think of that there would be a fee of $5,000 is either that's the taxes, like, per year she'd have to pay for the money she was taking out, or that um, she had taken a loan against it and she had to pay back that loan before she could roll it over. And so I texted her that that's what I was thinking, but I would have to see her paperwork before I could really tell her what was going on. And so we got some communication back and forth, right? And I got to thinking about this whole drunken monkey dealing with other people's subconscious. I had a really good appointment with one of my campaigners that she hasn't really been that engaged for a while. In fact, she was like the first one, was that she, right away, after she got her code number, she's like, I don't think I want to do this. And then she renewed her code, and now she's starting to, you know, be engaged. She came in with a really good talk today about things. I gave her some tools to how to talk to people, and kind of did a fast start with it, right? Or it was an extended fast start because we already did her policy for her, and now she's um, studying for her license, and now we're gonna start talking to getting into her market. Okay, and I started explaining that about what we do and how it helps people. So in this process is what I got to realizing was she got to know me more and I got to know her more. And that's it. It's like this whole drunken monkey um, situation is, and I'm thinking of this other prospective campaigner that's been chatting with me, and he's been in network marketing, and he's saying, it's about relationships and all that. And you're right. Okay. It's about getting to know people. And what that means is people are going to say stupid things. They're going to be, it's like a dog barking at you, right? If a dog's barking at you and you run away, the dog's going to chase you, right? If a dog's barking at you and you're like, oh, so you start talking to the dog, being friendly and cheerful in your way, to start wagging his tail, right? And then maybe you get a treat for it or whatever. Next thing you know, that dog's going to like you, right? And next thing, now you come over, it's going to let you pet it and all that, right? Okay, okay. People are the same way. We're an animal, right? And when people say things that are stupid, they're checking your reaction. I learned this in the Rio Grande Valley when I was servicing produce warehouse down there. As this gringo comes in, and they will say stuff that's very inappropriate, off color, and they're checking your reaction, right? And then if you get offended or whatever, they're like, yeah, I ain't gonna deal with that guy, right? I was a Navy SEAL for you know 10 years. I've heard everything. And they'd say stuff, and I'd smile and shake my head. And they're like, oh, okay. All right. This guy's not, I'm not blowing him out. He's not, going to scold me. He's not going to judge me. They're really sensitive to being judged down there, right? And I just like, okay, that was funny, and, and, and then next thing you know, they start talking to you and they start liking you. Next thing you know, they're giving you an order. Okay. Women will, like, okay, they're like, they just, especially down there, they just assume every guy is trying to get with them. Okay. And when you let them know, that, that's, yeah, you may be pretty, you may be good looking, but I got a wife or I got a girlfriend, right? That's not what I'm about, right? They're like, oh, you start, I would notice that like all of them down there have this amazing um, clerical ability. These women totally run these companies, right? The food safety manager, or the admin lady who they also pile on. She does HR, and she's also does the food safety stuff. I mean, they just do it all, right? They do all that stuff the guys don't want to do. The guys want to like get in there and do what they know how to do, and be a leader, and and you know get production, right? But they don't want to do the paperwork, right? And so the women, they can do it, and then next thing you know, they're doing it all. And when you do that, it was like being a radio man in the SEAL teams, right? Nobody likes carrying that radio until you realize that if you get that radio, you got all the information. You always know where you're at. You always know where everybody else is at, what they're doing. When you're the radio man, you know what's going on. Okay, so then carrying that weight ain't that big a deal, right? Um, you know, if you're if you understand the administrative stuff, you're not afraid of paperwork, um, man, you start, you able to get, you know, have that under control. Guess what? In this business, this is really cool, right? All these people that are way better at talking to the people than you are, chances are they suck with the paperwork. And if they like, oh, I got this, my leader, they'll take care of the paperwork for me. All right, then um, they can go out there and just bring in tons of people, all right, and knowing that you're taking care of them, and the business is getting done, and they go talk to more people, right? They love that, right? So it's a but my point is this, okay? It's all about taking the time to talk to people, and not overreacting when people say stupid things to you, right? Like, oh, that's you know we're talking about finances, everything about finances, personal finances, and we do, and we're like the one company that you can do everything, right? You can do rollovers, and you can do insurance, and you can do um, estate planning, and everything we can do, right? Where anybody else, they do that. They got the one product they sell. They do term. That's what they do, right? Right. Or they do annuities. That's what they do, right? That's all they do, right? They do, um, final expense. That's what they do, right? And we can do all of that, everything, okay? And we can help anybody out there, right? Where that's not the case with other places. And when you're not phased by people um, no showing you for an appointment, they're refusing to set an appointment with you, or they they're they give you that, oh, that's not for me. Well, at some point you're going to realize you need us. Everybody needs us, or because there's going to come a point you're going to not want to work anymore, or you won't be able to work anymore. And if you don't have something taken, set aside where you can have enough income to sustain you, you're in trouble. And that's what we help people do. Okay. And so you need But right now, you're just focused on making that money. Okay. And if you're not making enough money to take care of where you're at, may have enough money over enough to be able to take care of you in the future, that's not even in your mind. Okay. And we have to get people to realize that, because most people at that point, that production phase of their life, they're not thinking about down the road. They don't start thinking about down the road until they have a reason to start thinking down the road. When they get married, they have kids. Oh, the kids got to go to college. I got to pay this mortgage off so I can save money so I can retire. So when that starts happening in your life, then you start thinking, oh, down the road. Unless somebody points it out to you, educates you, then you start realizing, you start looking for, like for me, the first thing, I saw somebody from our company at a Kiwanis Club meeting, and they talked about the financial foundation and the rule of 72. I was fascinated by the rule of 72. And I was getting 4%. I had $50,000 in the bank, and I was getting 4%. And I'm thinking, I did the math. I'm like, oh, my money's gonna double every 16 years. Um, I'm not gonna have enough when I retire, which was the rate of inflation, right? And I used that rule of 72 for about everything, right? That's how I figured out um, what I needed to do and to be able to buy my first house. And I got it didn't work out the plan exactly the way I mapped it out, but on the month that I planned that I could have bought my first house. That's what I did. Okay. So anyway, there are people, all the information that we put out, people are going to get whatever it is that is important to them at this point in their life, right? And that's what you got to cling to. You got to hang on to that, because that may just be your foot in the door, right? And it may be that you just have to educate people what I'm talking to you about right now. That right now you're not thinking about your future, because right now you're just thinking about making enough to make it. But once you get that solved, okay, then you're gonna start like, okay, now I need, okay, yeah, I'm living, I'm okay, right? I have a place to stay and food to eat. And I can get around. I got gas, right? But what about later, right? And then what we're doing is more important to them. Okay, it means more to them. All right. If this benefits anybody, go ahead and share it. All right, bye.